Good evening and welcome to Econews tonight. Our top story, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a massive environmental disaster caused by the failure of global markets to manage waste. Did you know that this floating island of trash now covers an estimated of 1.6 million square kilometers, which is about twice the size of Texas? This is a clear example of market failure in managing public goods like the ocean. Tonight, we explore the causes, impacts, and solutions with our expert panel. First, let's turn to Naman, our economics correspondent, to understand the economic roots of this problem. Naman?
Thank you, Yuli. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a textbook example of market failure, specifically the tragedy of the commons. Oceans are public goods, they are non-excludable, non-revelers, which means no one owns them and everyone can use them. This creates a lack of accountability which allows polluters to externalize the costs. Here's a shocking figure. Only 9% of the 400 million tons of plastic produced annually is recycled. Most of it ends up in landfills or the environment, including the oceans. Without better regulation and accountability, this problem will continue to worsen, costing the global economy billions in environmental damage. Back to you, Yuli.
Thank you, Naman. And now to our community correspondent, Sierra. Please, Sierra.
Thanks, Yuli. I'm reporting from a small fishing community in Southeast Asia, where the impact of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is devastating. Fishing is becoming unsustainable here as marine life suffers. A recent study showed that 30% of fish sampled worldwide contained microplastics, reducing both their safety and market value. Fishermen now struggle to make ends meet. Tourism, another key income source, is also in decline. Coastal areas are inundated with plastic waste, therefore deterring visitors. This community bears the cost of a crisis they did not create, while wealthier nations generate almost 80% of the plastic waste in our oceans. These communities urgently need financial and technical support to recover and protect their livelihoods. Thank you. Back to you, Lily.
Thank you, Sierra. And now to our business correspondent, Leah. On to you, Leah.
Thank you, Yoli. Businesses have played a major role in creating this crisis, but are also essential to solving it. Plastic production has surged from 2 million tons in 1950 to 400 million tons today. This growth is driven by the convenience and low cost of single-use packaging, which externalizes waste management cost onto society. However, there is hope. A growing number of companies are adopting extended producer responsibility policies, which require them to manage the life cycle of their products, including recycling. In the EU, European initiatives have increased recycling rates by over 30% in some countries. By redesigning products and investing in circular economies, businesses can reduce waste and become leaders in sustainability. Back to you, Yuli.
Thank you, Leah. And now to our marine biology expert, Juan. On to you, Juan.
Thanks, Yuli. The environmental consequence of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is getting staggering because this patch contains more than 1.8 trillion of plastic pieces. And these pieces are devastating for the maritime life because more than 90% of the seabirds are consuming this plastic, mistaking it for food. These small pieces of plastic are from larger debris that are concerning now because we can find this plastic in all the corners of the sea, including the deeper trenches. This is very bad because this plastic can enter to the food chain and affect fish, maritime mammals, and as a consequence of this, humans. Also, the damage for corals is very severe because the plastic increased the likelihood diseases in 89%. Urgent action is required to prevent further destruction to the sea. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you, Juan. And now on to our youth environmental activist, Sofia. On to you, Sofia.
Thank you, Julie. As a youth representative, I want to emphasize the urgency of addressing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Plastic pollution is a growing crisis. If we continue on this path, scientists estimate that by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish by weight. Youth movements like Fridays for Future are mobilizing millions worldwide, demanding bans on single-use plastic and better recycling infrastructure. Beach cleanups alone have removed over 200 million pounds of plastic waste in the recent years. But this is just a drop in the ocean compared to what is still out there. Systematic change is needed, and our generation is stepping up to hold corporations and governments accountable. Together, we can create a sustainable future. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you, Sofia. Thank you to all of our panelists. Here's a closing thought. Tackling this crisis requires global cooperation, corporate accountability, and individual action. Let's work together to protect our oceans and secure a cleaner future. Thank you for watching Econews tonight. Good night.